Yo, it's been a long while since we last talked football. The international break, boring as always, kept us below the water. But anyway, we are back. We're having league football resuming this weekend. And I want to talk about the North London Derby, the big one that is coming. As an Arsenal fan, I've got to talk about it because there's so much to talk about this fixture. It's the most important fixture for the Arsenal fans and Arsenal as a football club in a whole season. And it's unfortunate that Arsenal are going for this game on a low, like on a low to mean that the favorites are now Spurs because it's played in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's one, and then two, Arsenal has a massive injury list, critical injury list, plus a Declan Rice red card. So this is terrible times to be an Arsenal fan, terrible times to face Tottenham Hotspur at their own stadium. Riccardo Calafiori got hurt when Italy faced France. Unintended injury though. I think he has an ankle problem. I don't know how much the progress is, but the last time I heard, I think from Sky, was that he's now into recovery, working with his doctors, so he will be available, but not for this North London Derby. He will be available soon. And then we have the captain, the most important player at the Arsenal, no doubt, Martin Odegaard, also injured. And Odegaard has played nearly almost all games for the Arsenal since last season to this season. He's been there, he's been present, he's been impactful, he's been like the man who controls the game. So is a critical and pivotal player for the Arsenal side, and I always saw it coming. I always saw Martin Odegaard injuries coming because of how much play time he's getting. He hardly rests, and he alongside Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka's injury is also coming soon. One day, it's just one day you wake up and bad news, Bukayo is injured and is sidelined for a lengthy time. So Martin Odegaard is out again with an ankle injury. It was feared that it was a fractured ankle. I don't know much about that, but Norway's coach has said that the Norwegian coach said that the injury, the least amount of time is 3 weeks. So official, Martin will be absent for 3 weeks, and then he adds that it will be a bonus if it's less than 3 weeks. So it's 3 weeks and above. So we are missing Martin Odegaard for the most important fixtures, and it's so unfortunate that the Arsenal's fixtures this season really started on really intense. Arsenal had some of the worst fixtures. So, like after the North London Derby, they traveled to Bergamo and face Atalanta, and then from Atalanta they come back and then they face Manchester City. So Arsenal has had a rough start of the week by fixtures, and having collected 7 points from possible 9, I think that's an achievement. But now the Tottenham Hotspur game is important for Arsenal to stamp their authority as the king in the north, because they're always the king in the north, but this time the king is wounded. So how does Mikel Arteta organize his Arsenal side so that the Gunners can get 3 possible points, because they must get 3 maximum points in this game? There is not always room for Arsenal to go against Tottenham thinking they're going to get less points. I mean, they're going to drop points. No, they must have the mentality of going there to collect 3 points, because they are the king in the north. They dictate what happens in the north. So there is no There's no way. But how does Mikel Arteta play? How does Mikel Arteta organize his game? We are told to trust Mikel. Yeah, that's always what I do, and that's what I urge all other fans to do. But we can talk about what happens. Mikel Merino is absent. Would have really fit well in the midfield now that Martin Odegaard is out. At least there will be a way to get him into the midfield so that one of the players, maybe Ethan Nwaweri, still young, 17 years old, still young, but to trust a 17-year-old in a North London derby playing in the place of Martin Odegaard in his position, that's a tall order to ask for. It's like you're putting so much responsibility for a 17-year-old. I know Lamine Yamal is doing crazy things at Barcelona, yeah, but he's a winger. Martin Odegaard is a playmaker, so playmaking role it's not a kid's game. So I think I've heard Arsenal fans saying that Ethan Nwaweri Ethan Nwaweri could fit in Martin Odegaard's role, but for this particular game, it's not working for me. This is not a game to trust a 17-year-old as a playmaker. So what does then that leaves us with? Fabio Vieira would have fit for the Arsenal, but if he stayed with us on loan, he would have fit for the Arsenal in this role. This would have been the time when Fabio Vieira stamps his authority for the Arsenal side, because Martin Odegaard's position is, for me, I think, the best role for Fabio Vieira. So he would have come in handy to dictate the game. Unfortunately, Fabio Vieira went to Porto on loan and then got injured also. So it's another sad news that even though he's not with us, he's having an injury also to nurse on the other side. So it's really crazy time for Arsenal, yeah. And then Declan Rice, the number 8 position is again. Avoid. Declan Rice is not a red card, so what options do Mikel have? Get Kai Havertz coming back to number 8. This is a controversial decision. Arsenal fans don't like it. They feel Kai Havertz cannot fit that decision. Remember, Mikel and Edu brought Kai from Chelsea to play that position. And so when Kai started playing that position, the numbers were not good. The fans were complaining. The game wasn't as vibrant as Arsenal needed it to be. And so Kai was taken up front, false 9 position, and he's been doing good. He's been tremendous over there. But the only person who can help the Arsenal in that position right now is Kai Havertz. So this decision, tactical decision, is unpopular, but it is pragmatic. It's the only thing the Arsenal fans should think about for this particular North London derby, and even maybe their away trip in Bergamo against Atlanta at the Champions League. Yeah, but again, it means that we will need a number 9, traditional number 9. So that will mean that we will rely on Jesus, who is also injured. So he's out. But there is an option. Leandro Trossard can play as a false 9. He's been upset about lack of enough playing time. So this is where Kai drops to number 8, Leandro Trossard goes to the false 9, and then we have Gabriel Martinelli playing there wide. So that could work for the Arsenal because Leandro Trossard is good. He can play in the striking role. He's done it before. So we can trust him to help. And then the thing then is to make Kai productive for the team and for himself also, and for his his morale, himself and the team at number 8 position. So if Mikel can do that, then that would at least it will present a strong side that faces Spurs. Yeah. Or we could think about this guy, Zinchenko. Zinchenko could try a number 8. He does that for Ukraine, so we've seen him inverting in the midfield, and he's been tremendous, especially when he has the ball. His ball progression as a midfielder has always been wonderful. You see him noticing spaces, dribbling the ball, holding, creating spaces, and having some very nice uh, passes that really break the game. So he is the guy also to think about in that number 8 position. So it will mean that we have Zinchenko as number 8, and then we have it maybe Ethan Nwaweri as number 10, and then we have um, Kai maintaining his number false 9 position, and then on the left wing we have either Martinelli or Trossard playing there. But then another question is the midfield. So the central midfield, especially on the defense side, we have Thomas Partey, and then we have Jorginho. So is it possible that Arsenal could go with a double pivot for Jorginho and Partey, so that the problem up front is solved? That will kill the creativity somehow. But again, it could work, especially when Arsenal need to defend or need to be on the defensive side. But I don't think Arsenal are going at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to play a defensive game. They are going there to collect points, because the early moments of the season is when clubs need to make a mark of their intention. Unfortunately, the injury legs at the Arsenal are complicating that, but I trust Mikel to come up with some tactical decisions that will help the Arsenal in passing through this hard spell of injuries. Mikel will be having a press conference tomorrow, I think at 1, so on Sky. So a lot of questions will be asked about these injuries and what the contingency plan, about what Arsenal is planning to do. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what Mikel will say. And I just wish Mikel Merino was present, but he's also having a fractured shoulder. This was his moment to get into the number 8 position. Yeah, so this will mean that Declan Rice absence is not really fair, because Thomas Partey will be maintaining his number 6 role, deep role, and then Mourinho takes number 8, and the team will still be solid. But now it's like all the plans, all the contingencies are kind of like broken. So I'm really looking forward to the genius of Mikel Arteta to come up with something. I know something is gonna come up, and as much I know it's in the North London derby, there's much to fear about this game, but I'm still optimistic that we are winning this game, because Spurs on the other side, they're going to miss Dominic Solanke, who is also on injury. So they also have a problem with injury, and I think this the latest defender, most recent defender, I'm forgetting his name, is also injured. So they're also having their share of injuries. So it's upon the two coaches to see. We are going to see what Big Angel will do and what Super Mikel will do. It's really a game that we are looking forward to, and let's hear what the teams will say at the press conference today, what the managers have. From then we can speculate more about how these teams will play. But I think the options that I've provided, that's how the Arsenal could line up ahead of North London derby, the trip to Bergamo, and again away to Manchester City. So tough time to be an Arsenal fan, tough time, but we've got Super Mikel Arteta, so let's trust, let's believe. We've always believed. Yeah, I would like to hear your comments about Arsenal injury crisis and the implications, what it means. Do you fear going to Spurs with such a list of injury, or you're confident something is going to come up? And how do you think Arsenal will line up in these important fixtures ahead? The good thing is that once Arsenal are through this three important fixtures, then they start having at least easy fixtures, easy in quotes, yeah, but you have to understand that Arsenal have had a rough fixture, unlike other or most, if not all, other teams. Arsenal have really been disadvantaged by fixture, and so once the next three fixtures are gone, then they should be having some sort of relief. So that's the beauty of it. Then, yeah. So we wait to see what happens next. Yeah. So talk to me. Let's discuss about this. I would like to hear your comments. Yeah.